That is a little bit high, isn't it? That's a bright light, isn't it? Let's put it over here a little bit. Wow, we have two people in here. That's wonderful. Carolyn Gollin, 62, 82, 97. Look at that. Welcome in. At Dakula, 1. Hey, Randall, how's it going? Well, actually, once again, I'm late. I have no excuse. I was supposed to be going live. It's 6. This is at Hollywoodland 21. Yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We talk about whatever. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's my channel, but it really isn't. It's really your channel, you know, to a certain degree, yeah. It's whatever my chatters want to talk about. You know, this is a variety channel. This is just a channel. This is a not at Hollywoodland21 is my handle. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. This channel here is not monetized. I'm not making any money off this. YouTube is not paying me any money, and I don't need any money from them right now. I'm just building this channel up to a certain amount of subscribers. You guys, a lot of you people know that watch me all the time. I don't know. We'll see when I monetize this channel. At some point. It may not even be in this state. It might be when I get to Missouri. I might decide to do it that. It's not going to be too long from now. I don't have any, I got some people talking garbage in here already. That's interesting. Well, it is Saturday night. You know how it is. What is this person saying? Aircraft. The sounds that are not systematically produced in the mouth, organ, while speaking at rest, with the diction required in living things, are as follows: Persian, Japanese, Chinese, Russian, German, English, Spanish, and Turkish. We are under the protection of our Lord, as everything within the space we see with our eyes. There is unity in body. It is perceived when the eye curtain is lifted. Okay. Okay, we got some very interesting people in here. In your spirit animal, Randy the cougar. Really? I thought cougars were women. Okay. You guys are funny. You guys are really funny, you know that? You know, some of you chatters are so funny that I think about what you chatted about like a week later. I just burst out into tears laughing. Yeah, I do. Any sleeping hacks? Well, I would not recommend drinking coffee after, if you have a problem sleeping and you have to wake up early in the morning, I would suggest not, I don't know, maybe perhaps you should not drink any coffee or soda, anything with caffeine in it, maybe tea, after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And then maybe you'll fall asleep. Wouldn't that be wonderful? There's nothing like a good night's sleep, is there? Act right, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. That's right. Anyway, about 5 days ago, I had my hair cut. I know it doesn't look like I got a haircut at all, does it? It doesn't look like any hair was cut. Here's what happened. I went in there and I paid her $30 to have my hair cut at the same hair salon I always go to. And I wanted a scissor cut, right? Well, thank you. Thank you. I try to have a good voice. This is just how I speak. But you know how when you get a scissor cut, it's supposed to be layered, and she didn't like get this out. Like she cut a 1/2 inch everywhere, and then she didn't like clean up the sides, and she just it's just too much on here. I think she should have taken 1 inch off and on top of that layered it, because when you layer your hair, it's like short, long, short, long, short, long, and it's easier. When I have to wash my hair, I have so much, my hair is so thick and wavy that it takes a while to wash my hair. I mean, it really doesn't. I don't want it to take forever. I mean, I got things to do, right? Nice hot cup of tea. Oh, well. $52 people in here. I'm going to have to start reading some of this chat. About the Billy used word. About a lot, well, approximately in proximity, but it never narrows anything down. That's what I call a car salesman is bullshit. I sold cars before. I remember that. What I worry about is the lectures in being able to talk in front of people, and you have confidence, which I have lack of my father. He is confident, my brother too, but being a woman, sometimes never. Okay. A $30 haircut. It's like, for $30, your hair should be layered properly. It was a younger lady that I think she might have just got out of beauty school or something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to have a connection over it. Your children must be beautiful like you, handsome. Well, I don't really know. I never thought about that. You think I look good with glasses? You do, really? What about without glasses? What do you think? Okay, now I don't have a ring light here. I'm not going to buy one here. I'm going to wait until I get to Kansas City. Yeah, I'm relocating. I'm leaving. I'm moving from the Charlotte, North Carolina area, if you look on a map, and I'm going west through, how many states is that? Somebody tell me how many states that is. You go from North Carolina, and then you go to, what's the next one after that? Tennessee. And then after Tennessee, I guess I'll cut up. I guess somewhere in Tennessee, I'm going to cut up north and get to St. Louis, and then go through St. Louis and go across Missouri until I get to Kansas City, Missouri, which is very close to Kansas. I personally wanted to live in a smaller town, but I have to make, I'm making concessions and stuff like that. Sounds like Liam Neeson. You think so? You look more charismatic with glasses. Do I? I don't like these glasses. I just don't look. I don't like them. I don't know why. I had to, my hair, you know what? My hair was like greasy. I was like, what's in my hair? I don't know. I got a flu shot yesterday. I got my flu shot early because I know that I'm leaving and I'm going to be traveling across several states from North Carolina to get to Kansas City, which is on the Missouri River. There's a Missouri River, there's a Kansas River around there somewhere. And you know, when you're traveling, you can get sick, and I don't want to catch the flu because that would suck, wouldn't it? My God, you look like Kurt Russell. Similar, no relation. I like his movies. What's this? Romantic with a what? Okay, Hans Petrov, 4343. Straightforward question. Have you ever thought about being romantic with a man? Or have you ever thought what would be if you were a woman? No, I've never, ever thought about being romantic with any males. I've never. I'm into women. I like intelligent women that are a little bit eccentric and middle-aged. Yeah, I do. Oh, yes, I do. And I like women that are I don't know. It's kind of curvy, like have like a female-y body, you know. I've been straight my whole life. I'm not interested in dudes, believe me. Some of these people know about the smart-ass comments that I've left in the past. Ditto, like you do. What make me, okay, there's not, I know. Carolyn Golan, 8297. What makes you talk with confidence? How did you get there? How did someone teach you? I'm very much like my father. My father passed away in October of last year. I'm still, it makes me feel like I'm orphaned. It's really a feeling that's hard to describe. He was a very educated man. He was my father was a RCA company program director. Okay. Making sure satellites get up into outer space properly, and had a lot of engineers working for him. He worked in aerospace. He worked on the videotapes when the videotapes first came out in the late 60s. My father invented the tape lifter. When you put the VHS tape in there, remember those? And there's a little thing inside of your VCR that would lift the tape up so it can be read. My father invented that, but he was working for RCA Corporation at the time. So he got the patent, but he didn't get the money. He didn't get a lot of money for it. But he made a good salary. He was like a manager of like hundreds of engineers to make sure things got done on time. And then later on, what he did is he worked for RCA Astro Electronics. Well, first he worked in Camden, New Jersey, and then he went up to Hightstown, New Jersey, and he worked for, he went to Indiana. He lived in Indiana, and he worked for the RCA's electronic division or something like that when they were inventing those records. Remember the records called those video discs, the big giant things that look like a record that would go in like a record player? But that flopped. People didn't really want to buy those. Do you guys remember those? Some of you, 1984 here. You're old enough to remember Beta. Remember the records that RCA made? It was like a record. And you would put the record into the record player was RCA's video disc or something. He was the program manager for that in the RCA Indianapolis location. And then after that, he went to RCA Astro Electronics, and he was a manager of engineers that made sure that the satellites that went up into outer space, they had to build them, they design them, build them, put them in these big giant rooms, and make big woofers that would make all kinds of very loud sounds, like they have in outer space, just to test the satellites. And then they'd ship them down to Cape Canaveral or Vandenberg Air Force Base out there in California, one or the other, and get them up into outer space. And the first, I believe what he said was that something along the line of the first satellites that they put up there that he and the engineers worked on, and RCA Astro Electronics were the ones that they used initially for Dish TV and Direct TV. That became Direct TV and Dish TV. I know that. And then he left. He ended up leaving because General Electric bought the company. He stayed on with General Electric, and then he decided to start his own business, and he became a contractor, selling his aerospace engineering services to the federal government and other companies. He had a company called Gorka Systems Incorporated, GORCA Incorporated. It's still on the internet. His business was one of the first 100 websites on the World Wide Web. I mean, it was like back in 1989 or 90 or something. I can't remember. I remember when the internet came out that it was not everybody was on the internet. I was. Well, yeah, you have to pass the bar if you want to be an attorney. Your father was quality control for RRICA. Oh, it's called the laser disc, yeah. Well, it was the one they had like in 1979, 79, 80. It might have been called I don't think it was called the laser disc. I'm gonna have to look that up. It's such a long time ago now. You were taking me on a memory tour. You remember them? Yeah, they made them outside of Indianapolis. Laser disc, something like that. They weren't little things, or it's like a big record. Your grandma had one. Video discs, yeah, there were video discs, but they were big things. They were big things that you put in there. And he told me that he had to watch music videos on these video discs to see if there's any imperfections. And he had to watch Deborah Harry music videos, and this is before MTV, right? And this is what else? Like Billy Idol and Rod Stewart. He had to listen to all these people that had videos that were going to be put on video, the record videos. This is pre-music television, which I don't think music television exists anymore. Maybe we need to get away from music television, stay away from music television. Although Billy Idol really did make music television work for him. I remember that guy. He's awesome. You still have a mini disc Walkman? That's so funny. Zeno, hi, #1 in Hollywood. Hi, handsome Randall. I would never ask a man if he prefer another man. Give me a break. I mean, what is that? That's, to me, I mean, come on. Maybe some men are into that, but to me, that's gross. It's like, ew. Women are so much more interesting too. They have all different kinds of parts and everything like that, you know. No, Al Gore did not invent the internet. The internet, or the alternet that turned into the internet, was there was people from UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, talking with this little thing they had that was like pre-internet. It might have been. I have to look into it. Talking to people at Jet Propulsion Laboratories, and also people talking from Stanford University, and they had a little thing, I think it was called the ARPANET, talking with people in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City has some big giant place outside of it where they're tapping into everything, listening to your ass. I'm going to high school. Can you please help me on the work? I go in 2 days. On the work? No, all you have to do in high school is you have to just go and sit there in your homeroom. They make sure you're there and document that you got to the school, right? But then you go to like your classes. You go from class to class, and you just take your, I don't know, I don't know if you use your phones now, or if you still use paper, or to some extent, and you just do whatever your teacher tells you to do. And you do that until about 2:35 in the afternoon, and then you go home. And if you're lucky, you don't get any homework. That's easy. High school's a joke. It's easy. All you have to do is follow directions. They don't even make it hard to get out of high school. I mean, you can learn more in high school than the average person going in high school if you really want to, and go into accelerated classes. I would recommend going to, when you get out of high school, I would recommend going to a university, applying to get into a university, and do your level best to get a professional degree like engineering, law, medicine, pharmacy, be a nurse. What else can you do? What else is a professional degree? There's a list of professional degrees. I would not go to college and get a degree in liberal arts. That's what young ladies from wealthy families do. They go to college and get a degree in liberal arts so that they can and they get into Yale and some of these fancy colleges so that they can marry well. You don't like that, do you? If anyone's a feminist in here, you probably don't like that, but that's a fact. If you do not come from money, you don't want to get a liberal arts degree. Unless you're going to get a teaching certificate, you want to be a teacher. I mean, you don't think that if you come from a family that has no money that you're going to be a biologist like that guy in that movie Jaws, and that you could just study sharks and stuff like that. People that do stuff like that, they come from families that already have wealth. It's already in the family. If you're from Amarillo, Texas, and you've been smelling cow pies your whole life, I would suggest that you join the Coast Guard, or when you get out of high school, join the Coast Guard, or I don't know, don't join the Marines. Don't do that. Join the Coast Guard or the Air Force or something like that. I don't know. Help me out, chat. Learn how to be a welder. A lot of welders are needed. Learn how to be a plumber or an electrician. If you got some balls, try to be an electrician. I don't know. Oh, a certified public accountant. That's a professional degree. That's otherwise known as a bean counter. Make sure that all the money's straight. You can do that. Or if you popped out of your mama and you are on the looks department, if you're a 9, if you're like a really super handsome guy, maybe you should go to Hollywood and go to auditions and stuff and try to be a movie star or something. Maybe you should. I know where to send you. Go to Burbank, California. It is good advice. Be a welder. Learn how to be an auto mechanic. I mean, an auto mechanic nowadays is almost like a mechanical engineer, isn't it? Oh, by the way, you know what else you can do when you get out of high school? If you can't do any of that, just go work for the city. Get a government job. If you know one of your family members that has some type of a government job working for the city or working for the county or working for the state, or if you have, or try to get a federal job working for the federal government. The federal government has offices in many big cities across the country. Who knows? Maybe you could be a homicide detective or something, or you can go get a job, go to college and say, I want to be an FBI agent one day. And the counselor will probably tell you what classes you need to take in a college to become a federal government employee. Because, you know, when you retire, like 40 years after you get out of college, you'll retire, you're going to get a big giant pension check. Yeah, that's right. Your pension check will be so big, who knows? You might be able to go retire in Florida with all the bugs and the alligators and stuff. You're not going to get me to go to Florida. I've already been to Florida, dude. I've already been to Florida. I lived in Southern California for 30 years. I guarantee you, Florida is not where it's at. You end up spending just as much money to move to Florida, whether or not you're a young guy, a middle-aged guy, if you're some old geezer or something, you're going to sit there and you're going to retire. You go to Florida, what's going to happen? Come on, everybody, tell these young people exactly what happens when you go to Florida. There's bugs. There's little bugs called no-see-ums. You know what they call it? It's so funny the way that people talk down there in Florida. They said that there's these bugs called no-see-ums. I was like, why do you call them no-see-ums? And it's because you can't see them. There's these little itty bitty bugs and like they bite on your arms and everything. Just like alligators down there. You can't even get close to the lake to go fishing because when an alligator comes out of the water to try to catch something, like a little deer comes down there, they don't know the difference between you and a little deer. They're going to come out of the water really fast and they can lunge at you at, I think, 30 miles an hour for about 15 feet. The velocity, the speed the alligator's going, he's lunging at 30 miles an hour with his little feet going, with his mouth open for 15 feet. So if you're within 10 to 15 feet of the water, you can get caught by an alligator. Alligator will drag you into the lake. And then when they take you to the bottom underwater, you know what an alligator does to its prey? It spins its body like this until you drown. And then it takes you to the bottom of the lake and it eats you. That's what an alligator does. You know who taught me that? Some fucking hillbilly in Louisiana taught me that. Some guy on vacation, he was in Bourbon Street, like where they have Mardi Gras and all that stuff. Yeah, he taught me all about it. I was like, dude, is that how they really do it? He said, yeah, that's what alligators do. I think he's like one of those swamp people. I was listening really hard to try to understand what it was saying. What did that comedian, what was his name? Making fun of that television show, Swamp People. What's that guy's name? Come on, help me out. I would like to go to Argentina sometime. His name was Cat Williams. He said that guy said something. He sounds like he has marbles in his mouth when he talks to those people in Louisiana, those Cajun people. And it said something like, better go get that alligator. He ain't going to go get himself. He's not going to go get that gator. He ain't going to get himself. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny the way he said that. He ain't going to get himself. He had like his nephew in the back and they're like going through this lake on this little boat with this big powerful motor. And there's all kinds of alligators, which are basically dinosaurs, right? And you're in their neighborhood in a lake, right? Get him, boy. I can't. Don't ask me why I was in Bourbon Street. I was just down there, dude. Oh, you think I'm an idiot? Okay, whatever. I'm I lived in Los Angeles for 30 years, 1989 to 2023. I lived in Hollywoodland. It's a neighborhood that's right underneath the Hollywood sign. It's one of those old neighborhoods that has half the houses up there just for middle income people. They're like little cottages, and some of them are mansions. I lived out in Hollywood. I lived in when I was first out there. I lived in Hollywoodland. It's an actual neighborhood. You look it up, Google it, look it up on TikTok. I lived in a guest house behind a mansion. 1989 for $450 for about 10 months, and then I moved down to the flat part of Los Angeles. It's easier on the transmission. Okay, what are you guys saying now? You got 122 people in here. Jim Croce, that's right. That's what he said. No, I'm not going to fit these right here, these implants that fell out. I'm not fixing them until I get to Kansas City. I got a lot on my plate right now. I got other people that depend on me. I have my own things I have to take care of, medical, business, otherwise. I got just too much stuff. Everything's moving really fast right now. And traveling, some of you know that traveling is not the same as it used to be. Traveling is like, you got to be able to watch what's going on around you when you're traveling. There's a lot of people acting up on trains. I'm taking a train, but trains, airplanes, on the roads. I don't know. Yeah, your dad gave you that tough love, huh? Carolyn Golan. Yeah, I know. I had like a really, my dad and I have different politics and stuff. Like, I'm a political centrist. I kind of lean a little bit left of center. You know, my dad when he was like was a real staunch Republican, and he was like really traditional, and he used to say things when I was like 17 years old. I'm still in high school. And he said, when I was your age, I used to work 4 jobs. I was like, what the fuck, man? You worked 4 jobs when you're 17 and went to high school? I don't know. I think he did. He had to pay his whole way through college. He worked 35 hours at Kroger supermarkets as a checker and a stocker while he was going to college at the University of Maryland, going to engineering school, an engineering curriculum, mechanical engineering curriculum, which is very difficult. The heat and the humidity in the South is criminal. Yes, it is criminal. You know what else is criminal? I want to tell you something about Arizona. Arizona, central and southern Arizona in the Sonoran Desert, when it gets to be like 115 degrees, you know it. I've been there. If I had only 2 choices of where to live, like Florida or Arizona, which one would I pick? I would pick Arizona and just stay inside for 4 months, okay? And just put a big old fucking sombrero on, right, dude? And just run to my car and go to another air-conditioned building and just come home and just play on this, and in my free time, just find something to do in the apartment for 4 months. And then the other 8 months out of the year, it's nice. It's really only like ridiculously hot for like in Phoenix for like, I don't know, like about 4 months. And the other 2 months of summer is like, you know, bearable. But you still have to put sunscreen on you. You have to wear a sun hat. You can't be walking around like people. They get up real early in the morning there and they exercise, and by 10 o'clock a.m. it's like the sun's blazing from 10 o'clock until about I think about maybe 5, from 10 a.m. to about 5. It's really hot, especially from like 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's like the sun's just beating on you. No one's outside. And then people come out later at night. That's how people live in Arizona. And the air conditioning bills can be high. I don't know if I could ever live in a place like that. I'm going to Kansas City. I'm not going to go to, I'm not going back to California. I spent 30 years in Los Angeles and I had a great time there. I have a lot of friends still there. And I'm glad I went out there. I'm glad I went out to Hollywood, actually. That was a fun place. I did not work in the entertainment business in any capacity, but I did work in a lot of nightclubs and retail stores and restaurants, and I worked in sales, and it was a very unique place to live. Well, you get to meet a lot of people from all over the world. It's a very large city. The county is 10 million people. The whole Los Angeles area has about 12.5 million people in it. And by the way, about 1 million people that live in LA County are undocumented aliens. Did you know that? There used to be like over 1 million people. Like that's 10% of the population of LA County was an illegal alien. Can you believe that? I worked around these guys. Those guys made the food in the restaurant and everything. Yeah. They don't do that stuff. The police don't have time to run around. They don't bother people that on traffic stops that are illegally in the country. They don't do that stuff. If Trump wants to run out there and he wants to get them all, that's I guess that's what he's going to do. No, they're actually in the courtrooms. They're called illegal aliens. I don't know why they call them illegal aliens. They're undocumented immigrants. They are undocumented. I personally lived in that city for 30 years. And I can tell you that the overwhelming vast majority of people that I was around that I sensed were undocumented immigrants were just regular everyday people that just went to work and came home and did a lot of jobs that a lot of people don't want to do. They do make some good construction workers, I'm going to tell you that. Guatemalans, Mexicans, and stuff like that. They make very good construction workers. They do jobs that a lot of Americans will not do. Guatemalans in particular will climb up, with a harness and stuff and go to the top of the palm trees, and they will clip the palm trees at the top, because palm trees in Los Angeles have to be clipped at the top because rats make nests up there, and they'll clean it all out and come on down. And they make good money too. And I don't know. Guatemalans guys are really good at climbing those palm trees. I mean, nobody else is going to do it. People are too chicken in this country. They won't do that stuff. If you want to ask me any questions about undocumented immigrants, I can tell you from firsthand experience. Lawn care, hard workers, cleaning up people's houses. A lot of the women that are undocumented or that are cleaning up some of the people's homes and in some of the wealthier areas of California. A lot of those women do get mistreated. They get mistreated like by the other women and stuff like that. There's something going on out there with it just depends. Not all rich people are jerks, you know what I'm saying? But there's some women that are wealthy that live in mansions up there. They're like, you missed a spot, right? Fucking with them and everything like that. But that could be anywhere. I've heard all the stories. No, a lot of those guys that are from Mexico, whether they're legally in the country or not, can take a car in the backyard of their house, and they have a chain and a hoist in the back. They can take the engine out. They can rebuild the engine in their backyard and put it all together and make the fucking car or truck work. They're really good at it. Because when you go over to Mexico, you'll notice that there's a lot of pickup trucks that are like a Ford F-150 from like 1975, still on the road. It has a new engine in it, but it's still working. You see stuff like that over there. They're like really self-reliant types, kind of like people that live in Appalachia. You know what I mean? They're really self-reliant. I've been to Mexico many, many times. I've been to Mexico probably over 20 times, not just in border towns. I've been into Mexico. I wouldn't go into Mexico now for other reasons. I mean, in Mexico right now, there's a lot of problems right now. It's not a place you want to go. You don't want to go. I mean, I've been in the real Mexico, not just Cancun. I mean, that's like Florida. I've been to, I've been some places. Yeah. I would not go. I stopped going to Mexico in 2006. Yeah. That's when the federal government of the Mexican States, the name of the country, I believe, is called the United Mexican States, and their federal government really cracked down on people that were in the rug business, and it started a lot of high crime in between the different cartels and with them fighting each other and the government, the Mexican Marines and everything like that. So that all started in 2006. That's what you call an actual war on drugs, and a real one. And ever since that, Mexico's different. You got to watch your ass around there. I know. You got to watch your butt around there. You stopped going to Mexico in 2003. It's a pretty good idea. It was different. It was different before. Hello from the trailer park. What's up, dude? Yo, speaking of trailer parks, did you know that? You know what's really strange about like when you go to a third world country like Mexico? It's some parts of Mexico don't look like a third world country. Like if you go to Monterrey, is a big city up in the northern part of Mexico. It's the most American looking city. It kind of looks like San Antonio a little bit. It's kind of nice. But when you go to those border towns and stuff like that, they'll have the people that have the more money will live in the city, and then around Tijuana, like outside of Tijuana, like right outside of Tijuana, instead of having suburbs, they just have like people living in cars and people living in RVs and people living in mobile homes, or these manufactured homes that you snap together that are kind of cheap and stuff that fall down in an earthquake, or they live in like trailers, like mobile homes that are from like 1969 and shit. Dude, there's and they just go on and on and on. And that's where the poor people live. The poor people live outside of the city because they can't afford to live in the city. And then in the city is just the regular people. Like you might have one part of war, like let's talk about Tijuana. Like in Tijuana, inside the city limits of Tijuana, like there's the newer parts where they have the bigger office buildings and stuff like that. There's like a little area where you might find people that are police officers, or they have federal jobs in Mexico or something. They got good government jobs in Mexico. They all kind of live in one area. And then there's areas that are like really the barrio, like really kind of poor. And then if you go to the west side of Tijuana, they have a lot of Canadians and Americans living in what's called the playas. It's on the Pacific Ocean. It's at the beach. And you know what they do there is that the police down there in Tijuana, the Mexican police, they make sure that they police those areas better than the other areas, right? You're pretty much on your own if you live in a poor neighborhood within Tijuana, okay? It's really like that there. There's a lot of Canadians and Americans living in Tijuana and down south on that peninsula in what's it called? The Baja California, Ensenada, Rosarita Beach. A lot of Canadians and Americans living down there. A lot of single guys living down there that are like over 65 that just don't give a fuck and they just want to they want to pay like $400 a month for rent. You guys should know. Some of you guys know what's up down there. People go down there during the daytime, like into the city of Tijuana during the day when there's like more cops around. They go down there to get dental care and stuff like that. I mean, personally, I'm not going to go down there. I'm not going down there. I'm done with Mexico. It was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting to go down there, you know. From 1989 to 2023, that 30 years I lived in Los Angeles was a very interesting part of my life where I would just meet a lot of different people from all over the world. It's a cosmopolitan city. You've got people from all over the planet. I met Russians and Ukrainians and people that I had a roommate that was a Kurd, like a Kurd from like the mountains in like Iraq that used to fight against Saddam Hussein, and him and his two sons that survived decided to help our military when we were over there. So they got some kind of a deal with our government that they can come over to the United States and live. And he was a landscaper. Him and his son were landscapers. This guy was a Kurd, and Kurds are Muslims, right? And he's like, but he's not like a radical, right? Him and his sons are all like 6'8", 6'7". They're these big, tall people. Like Kurdish people are really tall and big. And he would drink like malt liquor, 40 ounces. And I would say, hey, wait a minute. Isn't that against your religion, dude? And he's like, well, yeah, whatever. I'm an American now. I can do what I want to do. I was like, that's so funny, dude. I'll never forget that Kurdish dude. I met a guy. His name is Raz. He was from Iran in LA. And his father had a major contract with building freeways and stuff like in Iran. But he took off because he wanted to come to America. He went to England, and then he ended up starting his own business out in Rancho Cucamonga. I remember that guy. I met a lot of really interesting people. There's a bunch of Armenians out there. Armenians. What else is out in LA? It's kind of like the Balkan states or something. Yeah, let me tell you something about Mexico. You don't want to go there, dude. You can't defend yourself. You can't have a firearm on you. You can't have a sidearm. You're not allowed to. I mean, they have people that you can have you can have a shot. I think even Mexican citizens are allowed legally to apply. It's a lot of paperwork, but they can have like a small gauge shotgun or a rifle for hunting squirrels and such. But you're not really allowed to arm yourself with any big guns in Mexico. What we're currently being told about Iran is pure bullshit. What type of it? What type of it do you think is bullshit? My father's been to Iran. He sold the Shah's family a satellite. He knows people that were smurdered by friends of the students that took over the embassy. I do not dislike Armenians, and I don't know why you said that. So you're never coming back to my channel. Yeah, the Balkans were a rough place. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All that stuff in Bosnia, Herzegovina. Why? See, what I don't understand is who are these people coming into my chat and talking about saying things about me that are not true. No, I never saw any occult parties. I know people that are actors that were really nice people that helped me get off of alcohol and drugs in the AA meetings and the NA meetings. The cartels are worse. Let me tell you something. You really don't want to go to Mexico. I would highly recommend. Put it this way. I know people that are undocumented aliens that live in Los Angeles that are from Mexico, and they don't want to go to Mexico. They don't vacation there. They don't go there. They're never going back there. Gone. No, I'm not an actor. I was a salesman. Sold vinyl siding. Worked in the nightclub business. I mean, this is not a political opinion channel. It's not what it is. I'm just telling you what I saw with my own eyes. Well, one of the things that was happening, well, I don't want to get into it too much, but I have to watch what I say. I was a young boy, but I was a smart young boy, and I used to watch Good Morning America, and I saw what those Iranian students did on our land in 1979. Our embassy is our land. We're not leasing it. We're not nothing. That land belongs to us, and we have federal workers in that embassy in Tehran. And before many of you were born, when I was just a little boy, I was aware, and I had my parent and some other adults explain to me what I was seeing on my television, because I saw blindfolded hostages that were American citizens, federal workers, being marched around and smacked around in the head on international television all over the place for over 400 days. A lot of those students that did that and took over our embassy in 1979, 1980, a lot of their grandchildren are very wealthy people, and they run Iran, driving around Lamborghinis and all kinds of stuff like that. They're encouraging us to go over there and bomb them some more. You know why? Because they're not paying their own military promptly. Okay, there's a bunch of military. It's all about money, and those guys that are still that want to keep fighting or whatever they want to do, they would love to go over and take over the country, and they can be running things. There's a lot of conflict inside of Iran now. There's a lot of people taking off their hijabs and everything like that. A lot of the young people there, they want to be just like, I don't know, like San Francisco or something. They want to have blue hair and green hair and purple hair, and they want to be super liberal and everything, and they don't want to wear shit on their face and everything like that. They don't want any of that stuff. And you know what? A lot of the people that are running around saying they're religious and they believe in the Quran and all that stuff, it's all a big lie. It's about the money and power. It's about money, 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 money. That's all it's about. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about Iran. And we're going to stop talking about Iran because I already know what's going on over there. It's about money. Yeah, so we'll talk about something else. But I can guarantee you, there's a lot more reasons. I believe that our country is over there in a conflict and targeting whatever we're targeting over there. There's a lot more involved than just Iran never getting any nuclear weapons. There's more involved in that. I love my country, and it's about national security, but it's about correcting the world so that things stack in the favor of the United States, because this is my country. And I love my country. I want my country to be directing things. I don't want some other country directing things, because then they might try to mess with my country. If you don't like the United States, you are welcome to leave. You can leave anytime you want. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. You can leave. I saw what those students did to our federal workers in 1979, 1980. This has been a long time coming. And actually, our current president is really holding back. He's being a real nice guy trying to make deals. He's got guys around him that want to go scorched earth on that place. But he's not. I asked Jesus Christ to take away the cravings to drink alcohol in February, 6 months into my sobriety, and he did immediately, just like that. Remember, this is not a political channel. I'm just telling you what I saw with my own eyes when I was a little boy, and I remember what happened to our barracks in Lebanon, and if Donald Trump, our president, doesn't solve the problem, there are other people that are much younger than him, that are of my generation, that are, some of them, federal employees of our country, that are going to make sure that that problem with Iran goes away. A lot of people don't really like Trump. I don't agree with everything that he's doing. No, there's people there's people in the federal government that advise our president that want to do really super impactful things and do not want to make a deal, that want to go scorched earth on Iran. It's not me. It's them. I'm letting you know what they want to do. Donald Trump is actually being very nice about it. You have no idea what some of these other people want to do. Yeah, I understand that, John, Jacob, Jingleheimer Schmidt. A lot of people are very, very disappointed in some things. I mean, people that did vote for him, they're like, well, okay, you got the wall up, but what's all this other stuff? There's something deeper going on. There's something going on in the United States right now that's, God, man, I don't even want to get into it, dude. There's something going on in the United States culturally in our society and stuff that's so bad that no president, no government can fix it. Only the general population can fix it. There is an enormous amount of people in our country, a large percentage, much larger than I've ever seen in my life, that are just off their rocker, mentally ill, violent criminals. The crime is spread into the suburbs. Not every part of the United States has this problem, but it's pretty bad. And there's a lot of bad things happening in this country. There's a lot of bad men doing a lot of bad things. You got a lot of people that do not want to even become police officers because they don't even know if they're allowed to do their job or anything. There's just a lot of bad things happening in the country. There's a lot of violent crime happening in big cities, suburbs, small towns, all kinds of stuff. And it's not as bad as in the 90s. The violent crime rate is not as bad, but it's more spread out now. And with that going on, and the gasoline prices going up, and the grocery prices going up, and the Iran thing is still not solved, yeah, I can completely understand why people would be upset. I mean, I live in a country where like a lot of I don't talk to my neighbors anymore. I know. I'm just kind of, I'm a very social creature. Things are very different now. And I think I know the reason why people are just going to work, coming home, they're going to the grocery store and the Walgreens and coming home. They're not going to venues. They're not going out. They're not going to movie theaters. They're not going to bars. They're not going to nightclubs and all the kind of things that I used to work in for a living, like back when I was a young guy. A lot of people aren't going out and spending the money. Number one, they don't have the money. Number two, when you turn your television set on, all you see is violent crime. Like the whole 30 minutes of the news is just the worst things you've ever seen in your life. It's almost like shock and awe on a domestic population, if that makes sense. That's why I can describe it. Our media is doing this shock and awe that Bush did on Iraq. They're doing shock and awe through our television news, which I don't watch anymore. And they're doing shock and awe on a civilian population here in the United States. Be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. And you know what the sad thing is that it's really working. Be afraid, you got a Chinese disease. Be afraid, there's shootings everywhere. Be afraid, there's people smoking marijuana and driving all over the roads. You should be afraid. And what's the bottom line? The message they're trying to get to you is you can't do anything about it. You're afraid, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the message that they're sending to the general population via the television sets and the smartphone that we're on right now. Is that you're helpless. They scare you, and the message is for you to know deep down in your bones that you're helpless. They want you to feel helpless, but you're not helpless. But the media wants you, the American citizen, to feel helpless, to give up, to stop talking to your neighbors, to forget about God and everything else. Well, you're welcome for that example. Suzanne said you were spot on. Like the violent crime rate in the United States was much higher nationwide, and from the I'd say from the early 80s all the way through the late 90s. But it was in certain areas. It wasn't everywhere. It was like mostly a lot of violent crime in one section of one big city, and big cities all across the country. Now there's less crime. There's more property crime per capita, and there's less violent crime. But the violent crime that is in the United States is spread out into the suburbs, and you're seeing big city crime happening in small cities. Like, who would ever think that a place like a medium-sized city like Wichita, Kansas would have a crime problem? It's like, really? Wichita, Kansas? The same Wichita that Glenn Campbell was talking about and the son of the Wichita lineman? I mean, that has a high crime rate. I didn't know that until I found out. And it's been having a high crime rate for about like 10 years, 15 years now. Why is Little Tulsa, Oklahoma so dangerous? I don't know. Your chances of being a victim of a violent crime in Tulsa, Oklahoma are much higher, believe it or not, than Los Angeles, California. Can you believe that? It's true. So the crime, the bad crime, is spread out more, and people that are not used to it are seeing it, and it's very real. But it doesn't mean that it's worse now than the 90s. I lived in LA and Philadelphia. I was familiar with Philadelphia in the 80s and Los Angeles in the 90s, and I can tell you how bad it was. And I lived there, and I know where I lived that you didn't see that. You saw it in Long Beach, you saw it in South Central, you saw it in East LA, but you didn't see like crazy crime going on in Los Angeles, like in Reseda or Encino or Chatsworth or anything. You didn't see it. I mean, why do you think people aren't going out of their house other than they go to work, go to the grocery store, go to the pharmacy, and come home? And they come home and they're either watching cable television or they're on their laptop watching a movie or they're they're watching a dude like me talk to you. Why do you think people are doing that, staying inside? Even people that are very social creatures, like people that are like social butterflies, they're not going out anymore. They'll just be a social butterfly and have parasocial relationships with people that are on their smartphone. And they'll live stream and stuff. People are like really like me. I'm a social butterfly. I like to talk to a lot of people, like blah 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 blah, blah like that. I'm manic depressive. I just don't go to. I don't go to the bars because I don't drink. I'm 19 years sober, right? Yeah, I'm really 19 years sober. That means weed too. Everything: coke, weed, alcohol, all of it. But people that are social butterflies and people that like to be social, you might find those people being live streamers on a TikTok page or a YouTube page, you know? Yeah, I'm the guy that used to go to the bars and the nightclubs and dance and try to hook up with hot chicks and stuff like that and go drinking and stuff and socializing and all that stuff. I was one of those guys when I wasn't working, you know. I'm still the same guy. I'm just live streaming now. I wish it wasn't so. I wish people weren't so paranoid. I'd go. If there were nightclubs open, I would go back out to a nightclub.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about that, Ms. Newman? I'll take you. I enjoy the peace. Ms. Newman, did I not want to live in Lincoln, Nebraska, or Des Moines, Iowa,
Yeah.
or Topeka, Kansas? I wanted to live in one of those places, and you insisted on Kansas City.
Yes.
You see, I wanted to live in Lincoln, Nebraska. I got family there. Or at least go to like Lawrence, Kansas or something, one of these cheap towns where you get a big ass house, you know, get a 4-bedroom house with a big old I wanted to go someplace where I could buy like about 4 or 5 acres or something like that. COVID finished it. Isolation. Yeah, the Waterman 213. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. 213. You in LA? It's 213. What are you, downtown LA, dude? At Waterman 213. Just wondering. Why do you think High was not a good place? It's inexpensive for a home with a yard. You know, one that you put a swimming pool in the back in the backyard. It's really inexpensive. I don't mind winter. I can have winter for 4.5 months. I don't care. I just put like a toboggan on and just go outside. I'll go snow skiing. I don't care. But what, pesticides? Bojango fat, is it a pesticide issue? I know, but bars aren't open and clubs are open like it was in 1989 and 1990. We had like 10 times more venues to go to. I mean, to me, a guy my age, I'm like, where the fuck are all the nightclubs? I mean, you could go nightclub hopping. There's nobody. Where do you live? You must live someplace where there's rich people. A lot of rich people. Bars are open, clubs are open. How old are you? Oh, you're in Los Angeles. Okay. I know the area well. I lived there for 30 years. Like in Baltimore. I heard that 1 out of every 9 adults in Baltimore is addicted to boyfriend. You know, heroin. It's a port city. It's always been that way. It's always been like people addicted to that shit place. I think it was planned that way. Yeah, people do tell me I look like Kurt Russell. I can't. I don't drink anymore. What do you want me to do? Go to the bar and hang out with I can't go to the bar and have like a soda and just hang out there and not be buying unless I'm tipping the bartender a lot of money. Which I mean, I don't drink alcohol anymore, so I don't go into those watering holes anyway. I just don't go. Hello from Norway. Hi, welcome in. I mean, when I left Los Angeles in 2023, it was unbelievable how many small businesses shut down. I was like, is Frank and Musso's Bar and Grill on Hollywood Boulevard going to shut down? Stefano's Pizza's gone. Greco's is still there. The check cashing places are still there. A lot of the retail stores are gone. They're gone. The history. Places I've known for years. The store I sold women's shoes in over in Beverly Hills, that place is gone. It's all gone. It's all gone. It's history. Guess what? We're going to take a little walk over here. Got everybody disagreeing. Hey, listen, I want to let you guys know right now, okay? Just right now, just in case anybody, I'm going to make some soda here. Let's get some soda. It's over here in the refrigerator. Just in case. Damn, I wish this lady cut my hair right. Listen, just in case anybody thinks, just by looking at me or the way I talk or anything, if anybody thinks I'm a MAGA guy, you're wrong. I'm not. Yeah, I would like my country to be a country that's functioning well, where people live well, but what's associated with the MAGA movement, which is there's a lot of people in that movement, not everybody, but a lot of people in that movement just blindly believe that everything our president says, they're just going to follow along. I am not that guy. I disagree with our current president of the United States on many, many things, and I'm not going to get into it. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a lot less conservative than you think he is. I met real conservatives. You know where they live? Well, first of all, they live in Wyoming. They're cattle ranchers. And I met some very, very, very conservative Democrats that live in Mississippi. They're called Dixie Democrats. Have you ever met a conservative Democrat? They exist. Yes, they do. I'm a socially I'm a fiscally liberal person. I'm a socially liberal person. I was born in Philadelphia and raised in Philadelphia and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Just look at the area I'm from. You know that the most towards the right I would get is center of left. I am center of left politically. I'm what you call I'm a moderate on a lot of things, but I'm kind of open-minded and liberal. I mean, come on. I lived in Hollywood. What did you think I was? A Republican or something for real? Come on. I don't care what somebody does in their bedroom. I worked in the restaurant business. All the waiters I worked with were the dudes, all the male waiters I worked with, they're all gay. In West Hollywood. Yeah. I got lots of friends that are gay. Doesn't mean I'm gay. I'm not a conservative guy. So let's keep going. I used to live in Hollywood from 2000 and, not 2000. Damn, I'm getting old. 1989 until, when I was a real young guy, until August of 2023. On August the 14th of 2023, I left from the Amtrak Union Station, and I left Los Angeles. And I came to Charlotte, North Carolina. generic soda from Food Lion. My second favorite grocery store. Cold and refreshing. Oh my God, my channel turned into a fucking political channel. I didn't want that to happen. Oh my God. There's something much bigger going on in the United States right now that has nothing to do with politics, and I think everybody's feeling it. I think I'm going to go to Great Clips and get my hair cut a little bit shorter. That lady didn't cut my hair right. See, it's supposed to be like, hi, like a 1980s yuppie guy on Wall Street. Okay, let me get these glasses back. I'm going to read some of this stuff. You see, people are retiring in Michigan. That's right. Kathleen Davis. I am a Christian. I'm a Protestant Christian. I'm a Methodist. There's a lot of Methodists and Presbyterian. Yeah. I'm just your average waspy guy. I mean, I'm not going to tell, if a person, I'm not going to sit here and like get all mad because somebody doesn't like our president. You have a right to not like our president. I don't know, as an American, I'm talking to Americans now. In our country, did you know that I'm pretty sure, I'm going to have to look this up. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. When this country started, you know, those guys we hear about in school, when we were little kids, we hear about George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and all these guys. Thank you, Vanessa. That makes me feel a little bit better. And I am getting these teeth fixed. I'm waiting till I get to Kansas City. I live in Hollywoodland in Upper Beechwood Canyon. I also lived in Central Hollywood on Yucca and Whitley in an apartment. And I also lived in the San Fernando Valley in West Van Nuys, Chatsworth, and Woodland Hills, and North Hollywood. I lived in those areas. Yeah, there's a big problem going on in the United States. And it's not about politics. I think that there's a problem in the Democratic Party. I think the leadership of the Democratic Party is out of their fucking mind. And I think it is currently being taken care of. There are people that have been lifelong Democrats that do not like, they're not okay with the current leadership of the Democratic Party right now. Fountain Boulevard. I know where Fountain Boulevard is. I know exactly where it is. You remember they used to have a 99-cent store on the Los Cienega Boulevard, like just south of like Santa Monica Boulevard? I'm so old. I remember before that Target was open there on the corner. I heard they closed it down. Isn't that sad? Fountain. I know where Fountain is. Yeah, it is closed now, isn't it? Did you know that the apartment complexes that surround the perimeter of the Scientology building happen to vote Republican? Isn't that odd? I found that out on a little map I found on the on the internet. That's so funny. No, they're mad. LA is full of Democrats. And they're mad at Karen Bass, and they're mad, and they don't want they didn't mean no police at all. Remember the girl in the furniture store that got killed? Remember her? That beautiful young lady? That pissed me off. You know, I don't like this gum. It tastes horrible. I'll have to try a different kind. I'll go back to the store. That gum was so bad I had to take it out of my mouth. People that blame the Jews should be deported. You know, that brings me to a very important point I forgot to tell you about at Hollywoodland21, is that I believe there should be a state of Israel. And on my channel, on at Hollywoodland21, these are the 4 things that are not allowed in my channel, or you will be blocked forever. Number 1, no anti-Semitism is allowed on my channel. If you've got a problem with Jewish people, you need to get the fuck off my channel. Do you understand? You're going to get blocked fast. No anti-Semitism is allowed on my channel. Number 2. Number 2. No racial bigotry. Anybody that types anything that's racially bigoted will be blocked from my channel, and you will never come back again. Number 3, excuse me, no talking nasty about women and children. If you talk nasty about women and children on my channel, you're going to be blocked and you're never going to come back. Goodbye. And number 4, no character assassination of moi or anyone else in my chat, or you will be blocked and you will never come back. There are no second chances on my channel. Other than that, you can talk about whatever you want. I really just don't want to talk about Iran. I don't want to talk about political things ad nauseum. It's just like, come on, man. I'm not a fan of Jesse Waters because of his badgering, and Jesse Waters, that guy on Fox News. I don't like the way he treated Daisy the Venice Healer, making fun of her and stuff. Daisy the Venice Healer, that has her little channel, I don't know if she's on TikTok or YouTube or both, but Daisy the Venice Healer is actually a very friendly, nice lady, and she runs around with her megaphone trying to let the world know that there needs to be more love in the world and people need to get along, and I think that she's wonderful. And she's had a kind of a tough life. And Jesse Waters needs to keep his mouth shut about Daisy the Venice Healer, that streamer. You know her? Where's she on? LA's not a ghost town. It's not a ghost town. There's a lot of stuff boarded up. It's gotten a little bit better since I left. I've been keeping tabs. Things are getting a little better in the San Fernando Valley. Things are getting better down there in Venice and stuff. It's not as messed up as it used to be. Las Vegas, Nevada, there's a lot of people can't afford to gamble, so that they're gone. I don't know what's going to happen to Las Vegas. A lot of our young children are getting killed. Yes, I know. That's a big problem. There's a lot of bad men in our country that are hurting women and children, and it pisses me the fuck off. We got a lot of judges that are letting, and magistrates that are letting people that are violent criminals back out multiple times out onto the streets. I'm particularly upset about the young Ukrainian immigrant girl in Charlotte, North Carolina, that was stabbed with a pocket knife multiple times and nobody did anything about it on the bus. I know everybody's pissed off about that. And a 7-year-old intellectually disabled, just recently in the news, a 7-year-old intellectually disabled boy was tortured and killed by his own mother and her friends and stuff. I think it was in Ohio. I'm not sure what state. I could be wrong, but I think the whole country is pissed off about that. There's a lot of monstrous people in our country right now. I'm just like, where the fuck do these people come from? They throw old ladies in front of trains, and it seems like there's a lot of the criminals, like they won't roll up on me and try to fuck with me. They look for like elderly people and women and bother them. I heard a lot of women are being like catcalled, and not in like a way that you do like when you're in college or something. I'm talking about like bothered at train platforms, grocery store parking lots, guys like, hey, baby, like, what's up? You want to hang out and stuff like that? No, the woman doesn't want to hang out with you. She doesn't know you. You didn't even introduce yourself. It's like, get the fuck away. There's a lot of dudes that are just not acting right around women. Have you ever noticed that? A lot of men are not acting right around women. They're not. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that are disabled, like people that are intellectually disabled that are not being taken care of properly. There's a lot of people that are elderly not being taken care of properly. There's a lot of social workers and a lot of people like that are just goofing off and playing on their cell phones and not doing their job, and they don't want to work. They're not really, these people are not being taken care of. We got some fucking major problems going on in the United States. And it's not political. It's about people just saying they don't give a fuck anymore. It doesn't matter. I mean, we can have, our military's fine. Our military can fight the rest of the world. We'll still be here. But us just regular people, upper middle income, lower middle income, working poor, those people, we have to fix our own communities at a local level. The federal government can't fix everything. We need to start shunning people, like people that are acting up. You know, people that just can't get right. Run them out of town. You know, but we got a lot of bad men that need to be taken care of. We need mass arrests all over the country for people that are like crazy motherfuckers. You know I'm right. Yeah, we probably do need to start shunning the CIA. No, extreme liberalism may be a mental disorder. Extreme. I don't think that people that are socially liberal are mentally ill at all. They're just different. They think different from you. When the people that created this country in the first place, our so-called founding fathers, their thinking was considered very liberal for its time. It's classic liberalism. You know, things like the right to pursue happiness. They think they expanded on what's that called? Common law. In England, they came up with a new liberal concept called common law. And I guess whoever was in charge, the king or something, kind of like that. And then over in this country, some guys like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and some other guys started thinking about, well, what if we have a country where people have the right to pursue happiness if they so desire? You're not mandated to pursue happiness. I don't know if they got that right, because I thought happiness was something that just kind of happened, especially joy, moments of joy, or like a blessing. I didn't know that one could pursue happiness. I guess happiness is like, as long as your happiness is not hurting anyone else, I guess I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. Maybe happiness for you is to go out in the woods and bang your head against a tree. Maybe you like that. Maybe happiness is inventing your own religion and going out to Utah and having 5 Bibles and stuff. Maybe that's, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I guess that's your happiness. If you're a guy and you're just not attracted to women and stuff, and you want to be gay and stuff like that, and you like other guys, and you're happy like that, go to West Hollywood and be a happy motherfucker, man. I don't know. Well, you know what I think's going on? I think a lot of Democrats are just keeping their mouth shut and they're about to stop keeping their mouth shut because some of the people that are leading the Democratic Party at a national level are out of their fucking minds. They're talking about abolishing police, and it's getting to the point where you got real actual communists here. Okay, and most people don't want that. The Democratic Party is going to correct itself. I can assure you of that. Barbie Joe at Barbie Joe 55. Why I'm single for 9 years. I'm trying to find a gentleman. It's very rare. It is very rare. Well, you know what? There still probably are some gentlemen left. They're probably they will probably be definitely over the age of 40. Probably over the age of 45. And even more probably over the age of 50. Gentlemen may come back. They might come back. What do you think? Do you think they're going to come back? You never know. Maybe some of these young men are going to grow up and they're going to learn how to be gentlemen when we're all dead and gone. You never know. You know, things change. I've seen some acts of gentlemanly behavior amongst young men in the South. Like when I was in Savannah, they have like real Southern gentlemen in like Charleston, North Carolina. No, Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia. More than just opening up a door for a woman. I mean, like real Southern hospitality gentleman, a gentleman with a Southern hospitality twist to it. I've actually seen that in real life within the last couple of months. Depends on how you're raised. They're still around. Yeah, what was once right is wrong is now right. Did you know that what the most popular song during the Revolutionary War in the United States was, when we were in the middle of having a Revolutionary War and trying to become our own country and fight the greatest military power that had ever existed up until that point, which was the English military machine in the late 1700s? When we were fighting the Revolutionary War, there was the most popular song in the United States was entitled "The World's Turned Upside Down." That's a real song. Google it. At A.T. Samana. Most liberals, in my experience, cannot be part of a discussion where they hear opinions that don't match their own. They tend to hurl insults and manipulate the content into other things. That happens, yes. Not all. A lot of the younger people are like that. Those old hippies are not like that. They're going to explain to you why you're wrong and make you question yourself. But a lot of them, there's a lot of people on the right that do the same thing. They just, whatever Donald Trump wants to do, they'll go along with it. It's just human nature, I guess. I wouldn't use the word terrorist, James Graham. I wouldn't use the word terrorist of their day. I understand, and I know that. I learned that from a professor in Rutgers University in New Jersey, in Camden, at the liberal arts part of Rutgers University, near where the law school is. Excuse me. Yeah, they were dead. John Hancock and all the rest of them. They weren't going to make it. Oh, they'd put them on a firing squad if we lost that war. Or they would have to run out to Missouri someplace and get lost in the woods. Maybe join a tribe or something. There's actually people that are actually fascists that are in our country. There's a communist party in our country. There's all kinds of different political parties in our country. There's people that want to. Oh, by the way, will somebody please explain to me? Let's get our facts straight here. Let's get our facts straight. It's my understanding from what I read when I went to college that our founding fathers did not say that we cannot take the United States Constitution and rip it up and throw it in a barrel and burn it and start all over again with a completely different kind of government. I believe I'm correct, and that Americans are allowed to do that. If the American people want to get rid of the Constitution and start all over again with a completely different kind of government, it's legal to do so from the very beginning. If I'm wrong, somebody prove me wrong. Where are the good guys? Where are they? I don't know. Maybe they're in Lincoln, Nebraska. But here's the thing. I bet they're already hooked up with someone. Yeah. You're not going to find that guy in Los Angeles. No. You're not going to find that guy. No. No, I'm not an actor. Oh, did somebody say something naughty about Jewish people? Who said it? Did anybody? Was there some kind of anti-Semitic thing in here? I do agree that our current president needed to strike military targets in Iran, and he needs to continue to do that. And that Strait of Hormuz needs to be completely controlled by the United States. And I would not agree if our government destroyed their power plant or their desalination plants, because that would mean that many people would die of not having clean water, which would mean diarrhea, which means a lot of people would die of that. And there would be hundreds of thousands of people dying unnecessarily in all of Iran if those desalination plants were destroyed, or if the power grid was taken out, or if train trestles and train tracks were bombed to the point where food could not be moved around and stuff like that. You would have the civilian population starving to death over there very quickly. And I would not agree with that. But whatever that mountain is over there, where they got all kinds of whatever that nuclear shit is that they got there in that fucking mountain down there, I think that needs to be addressed. I do not believe that our military needs to do anything destructive to any of the power plants, or anything that would hurt the civilians. Just hit the military over there harder. You got some honorary motherfuckers over there in Iran, don't you? In their military, they can't even fight back, and they say they're gonna attack our country. Okay, go for it, motherfucker. It's like, damn. Even the president doesn't want to. Our current president said on television he does not want this to continue. He does not want to hit the desalination plants. He does not want to hit apartment complexes. He does not want to have to blow up their new power plant over there. He doesn't want their electricity to go off and all the hospitals to be on backup generators with all the babies that are in the incubators over there. He's not a monster. Mustache Man and fucking Germany and the SS, they were monsters. There's a big difference between those people, a huge chasm difference between them and Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States of America. Huge difference. Okay, well, you're going to go away. We're not going to get a conversation about that. Goodbye. You know the rules of the channel. No, Trump is not a monster. My grandfathers went over to Europe and put those monsters out of business in the 1940s in World War II. My uncles and my grandfather went over to Germany and got rid of the monsters. I know the difference between monsters and people that are people you just disagree with. I will not vote for J.D. Vance. No. It's just not my kind of guy. I don't really know much about it. A little bit. That's not the kind of person I think is going to be a good president. Yes, Islam was forced in Iran in the late 70s, very much so. And a lot of people that my dad sold a satellite to, when my dad worked for RCA, he went over there and sold a satellite system over there to their government. And a lot of the people that he talked to, that he got to know, when that embassy was taken over, he told me, and he didn't like to talk about this very much, but he told me at the dinner table at his house that those people and their families were all murdered when those guys took over the embassy. Yeah. Friends of the Shah and everything like that. He actually got very emotional about it. I don't think he's a perfect angel. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, Keats Flamesman from The Undertale, things are going to get worse before they get better. They certainly are. Unfortunately, there ends up being civilians losing their lives in any conflict. You can call it a war, you can call it a military conflict. They call it all these different names and stuff. What do you think it is? I do not want those. I want there to be a deal. I'll tell you something. He needs to hit their military harder. They're getting ornery. They're getting crazy. Nobody wants any civilians to get hurt in Iran. Not anybody that's normal. Like maybe some crazy person. I don't know. But we're not going to talk about Iran anymore. I'm tired of it. Not anymore, Vanessa. I'm not in California anymore. I was there for 30 years, 89 to 23. And I am in North Carolina right now. And I'm about to leave and go to Kansas City, Missouri. I don't know. What do you think about Rubio? You love R45 and 47. A lot of people do. I think he's strange too. But that's just me. He's just not my kind of guy. A disco song? I was a little kid when disco was out. But if I do listen to, I do go on another platform I go on YouTube, and I go on YouTube to listen to old music. But I kind of like that disco song that, what was that? The Deborah Harry. She had a band called Blondie. The Man from Mars is Eating Cars. I kind of like that. I thought that was kind of funny. Actually, I think the Bee Gees actually did have some really good vocals. Yes, I have met some people that are famous musicians and famous actors. Yes, I have, but I will not drop any names now. Rubio's shoes are too big. Disco Duck. I don't know about that. I heard about that song. That's before my time. Well, 116 people in here. Look at that. We have lots of people in here. Isn't that amazing? Give me 2 minutes. I will be back. Do not touch that dial. Yo, what's up? Some of you people think I wasn't coming back. That's gross. I wasn't. You feel love? I feel love too. You know, love is an action word. It is. Hot Stuff. That's a song. That's like a disco song. I was like in elementary school when that came out. Rapture by Blondie. Yeah, that was a pretty cool song, wasn't it? You see how much more relaxed I am when I'm not talking about Iran. This guy looks like he was on the corner square of Hollywood Squares back in 1988. You're so funny. Super freak. Yo, that guy was wild, wasn't he? Fucking Rick James. September was a good song. What is that? Earth, Wind, and Fire? Yeah. That was a very popular. It's very popular now. I think it's funny that a lot of the like really younger people, like teenagers and people in their early 20s, are on the internet, like really liking a lot of songs from like the 80s and stuff. I'm like, some of the songs that they like are kind of like interesting to me because some of the songs they like, not all of them, but a lot of the songs that they like are songs that a lot of us Generation Xers thought were kind of like stupid and stuff, but they like them. I don't know. Just stuff like some one-hit wonder stuff they like. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Ryan Adams. Summer of '69. Yeah, it was a good song. I have a favorite song. Do you know what my favorite song is? My favorite music comes from mostly the '90s. I have a favorite song. What do you think it is? Does anybody listen to Nine Inch Nails? Who listens to Nine Inch Nails here, or did? Nirvana. Thank you. New Construction Tampa. I'll check them out. Nine Inch Nails, yeah. What song do you think is my favorite song in the whole world? No. My favorite song is My Cherie Amour. That's Stevie Wonder. My Cherie Amour. It's actually from the late '60s, actually. It's a song that I didn't know about. And I kind of remember it being on the radio when I was a little kid. I don't know. I didn't know what it was about, but I like My Cherie Amour is my favorite song. But my second favorite song is by Nine Inch Nails. Which one is it? You guys tell me what Nine Inch Nails is my favorite song. And then my third favorite song is Been Caught Stealing by Jane's Addiction. There's a reason for that. No, that's so funny. Somebody knows my most favorite song. It's sung by it's by a band called Nine Inch Nails. What's the name of the song? Who's going to get it right? Thank you at AT Samada. Thank you very much for telling New Construction in Tampa that I had a cool channel. I really appreciate you people letting everyone know about at Hollywoodland21. I want to know if anyone knows what my favorite song is from Nine Inch Nails. At Airwalk1992 is correct. My second favorite song in the whole world is Closer by Nine Inch Nails. It can be interpreted as a song about dangerous controlled substances, but I don't interpret it that way. Yeah, I like that song. Yes, I do. Closer, my second favorite song. Right after My Cherie Amour, and then Closer, and then Been Caught Stealing, and then my fourth favorite song is I'm a Loser by Beck. I like Beck a lot. You think I'm evil? All people are evil. Some people are just a tiny bit evil because we're all fall short of the glory of God, and some people are very evil. But most of us are right in the middle. I don't believe there are any good people. We all fall short of the glory of God, so how could we be good? We're all different degrees of evil. We're all sinners, right? I thought so. I should button up my shirt. What do you think? Now we only have 76 people in. What's going on around here? Oh, by the way, I need to let you know something that's very important for everyone to do. Type in at Hollywoodland21. That's at Hollywoodland21. And tell all your friends about my channel, at Hollywoodland21. This is a non-monetized channel, and I need you to hit the subscribe button. I have a goal. I have around 2,500 around that are, and some change, subscribers, and I'm building this channel. I need subscribers. That's what I'm here for. And I have a goal of getting 5,000 subscribers by September the 1st of 2026. I need everybody that's watching me right now to hit the subscribe button. Muchas gracias. My channel is about whatever you want to talk about. It's my channel, but it's really not. It's really your channel. This is a variety channel. This is a channel that is under construction right now. It's under construction. We talk about a variety of subjects. Tonight, we talked a little bit too much about politics in Iran for my liking. But that's okay. Talk about that stuff. You know, it's really your channel. You can ask me where I'm from. I do not know who killed George Reeves. Hit the like and subscribe, just like we just did. We are new today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that very much. Yes, I need everyone to subscribe to me. I subscribe back to everybody that subscribes to me. I need to get to 5,000 subscribers. Once I get to 5,000 subscribers, at that point, I will monetize this channel. This is a non-monetized channel. I do not have a partnership with YouTube. I'm not getting paid any money for this. I'm not accepting any donations at this time. I do not need your money. I will hit the green light and attempt to have a partnership with YouTube at 5,000 subscribers. I don't know if they'll let me. We'll find out. But definitely I will have my Cash App and my Venmo and my PayPal information for you to send me donations after I get to 5,000 subscribers. So please, let's get to 5,000 subscribers so we can have a lot of fun. I want my chatters to get to know each other. That's a very important thing for me to do. Is for you guys to, you ladies and gentlemen, to get to know each other. Let's get a big group going on here. No, I'm holding off on being monetized. I'm deciding that I don't want to be monetized at all. I don't really need your money. Now, once I get to 5,000 subscribers, I will ask YouTube if they'll partner with me. If they do, fine. And become monetized. I believe at 5,000 subscribers, I can become monetized. Unless you guys know something different. And I'll put that information up to donate and everything like that. I'm going to be doing some other things. I'm going to, at some point, have a Patreon channel and things. I mean, why not make a little bit of passive income 4 days a week? 1 hour and 58 minutes. Let's see. It's 8:36. It's almost time for me to take off. And a Copacabana. Yeah, it's easier. I mean, last night we had almost 300 people in the chat. It was kind of nuts, wasn't it? That sounds like a goal, especially since you're mentioning it is a goal. You have a nice day, Vanessa. Thanks for coming in. My name is Randall, and this is at Hollywoodland21. At Hollywoodland21. Please subscribe. Let's get me up to 5,000 subscribers as fast as possible by September 1st. Just hit the subscribe button. It's free. I'm never going to charge anyone to subscribe to my channel. No. And I subscribe to everybody that subscribes to me. Okay. I'm going to put this user timeout. I think I look like Bryan Cranston. Yeah, you can chill out on this channel. You talk about whatever you want. Just don't say anything anti-Semitic or you get blocked. Don't talk about racial bigotry, or you get blocked. Don't talk nasty about women or children, or you get blocked, and don't say anything that's untrue about me or anyone else in the chat, or you get blocked. That's the only 4 rules, and then you can talk about whatever else you want. I think that the whole Iran and politics and all that stuff it's really ad nauseum at this point. Talking about sexual orientation, ethnicity, and race and all that stuff. I don't get into that. I don't talk about things like that. I'm 19 years sober off of everything, including weed. If you want to ask me how to get sober, you can ask me that. I mean, personally, I asked Jesus Christ to take the cravings to use drugs and alcohol away from me, and he took them away just like that. That's how I did it. You can hang out here, Heather. Heather Crabtree 5006. Yeah, sure. I would love you to hang out. I would love for you to hang out here. Fine, thank you. I might start going on. I might change my hours. I might start live streaming at, I don't know, maybe like 5 o'clock, and like come on earlier and until about now. At a certain time, I get a little bit tired. I mean, I wake up very early in the morning. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So by this time, I'm kind of tired. I'm a very busy man. No, not an actor. Was a salesman. I live in North Carolina now. It's an Amtrak train. The Amtrak train, I believe, I'm gonna have to look at it again. Believe the Amtrak train from Charlotte to Kansas City is like you go to Chicago. I have to go to Washington D.C. on the Amtrak. Aluminum siding I sold, and also vinyl siding and tools, and women's shoes too. That was fun. But the Amtrak goes from Charlotte, and you go to Washington D.C. to their Amtrak station. That's going northeast, and then you go back up to Chicago, and then you take, I believe it's called the Amtrak Chief from Chicago down to Kansas City. That's the same one that goes all the way out to Los Angeles, cross country. You raise pigeons? Jesus is coming 24. Check out a channel called Your Plus Freedom Plus 39. Your Plus Freedom Plus 39. She's really into pigeons, and she's a really nice lady too. You should check her channel out. What time of the day is it here? It is 8:42 Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time. It's Charlotte, North Carolina time. It's Philadelphia time. And it's Miami time. The Eastern Seaboard of the United States of America is where I am. (8:40 p.m. here. Okay. Yeah, I was into the uppers. I never did speed, but I don't like that drug at all. I don't. It's a very dangerous drug. What a goober! You think I'm a goober? Think so? I got 42% here. Look at that. Look at that. What kind of a radio show do you think I should do? Should I just ask people questions like Joe Rogan does? You built a fortress for your pigeons. The Outer Banks are very beautiful, aren't they? Over there near Topsail Beach. I remember Southern California. I lived in Chatsworth. In LA, yeah. %50 tariffs in Canada. I can't believe he did it, but he did it. A Hollywood history? Like, you mean a Hollywood history show from my own personal experience from 1989 until 2023? I have a very good memory. I have a memory like an elephant. Like when people tell me things or I watch people's video posts, I remember every single friggin' thing that they say. I do. Yeah, I had a lot of problems sleeping at first too. I stopped in August 8th, 2007 in LA. And it's been what, 19 years? It's been 19 years off of alcohol, drugs, and weed. I try to be a cool man. I really do. I am bipolar. I do take meds for that. Yeah, I do have a good memory. I remember every little thing that you said. Yes, I do. Every little thing that you said to me. Mm-hmm. It's right back here. Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. I certainly do remember things. You would not guess that I'm bipolar. I was mixed states bipolar. I was like, but down like, woo, like really bipolar. And I am. That's what Seroquel is for. It works wonders. I would not wish bipolar 1 disorder on my worst enemy if I had one, which I don't think I do. I see you in 20th, last to go. You're a pharmacist. You know all about quintiapine. I take it 200 milligrams a day. 300 milligrams. Now they raised me. Lorazepam. I have a lot of anxiety. I wonder why. Thank you. Thank you, Heather Crabtree. It is very challenging. Yes, it is. I was diagnosed when I was 20, I believe 23 years old, either 23 or 24 years old. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yes, this is my real hair. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, quintiapine, or AKA Seroquel, is used for multiple purposes. The world is insane, isn't it? Made in Malaysia. I look like Mel Gibson. You think so? Lucky to have that hair. Thank you. I'm blessed. Got bad teeth genes. That has to be fixed. I'm authentic. I'll let you know what I'm not. I do not suffer from egocentrism. I have real self-confidence. I'm authentic. I'm based. I'm a little crass. I can be a little crass. I need to work on that. I do not like people that do bad things, like lie, cheat, and steal. That's being bad. I forgive people. I'm a very forgiving person. I really am. I mean, I don't judge people. You think Hollywood was built on lies? I don't think so. The world is much different today. Kissing the dream. Yes, it is, isn't it? If you're over 45 years old, or even if you're over 40 years old, it's like, whoa, what is going on, man? I can only imagine how the baby boomers feel. Probably like, what the fuck is going on? All these crazy people everywhere talking about crazy stuff. "30 years. Being on the road, interstate, that is not a job for everybody. That's really. I remind you, Patricia, or you remind me of my brother who just passed away. My condolences on the loss of your brother. I just lost a cousin at the age of 40. He was only 49 recently. My dad I lost in October, and my uncle I just lost in the beginning of June. They taught me how to ride a bicycle. Yeah, a lot of people are passing away in my family. It's hard. 54, 47. Y'all know things have changed a lot. They're not going to stay this way. Things are going to go back to being more normal. Things got out of whack. I noticed that there was some kind of a weird change in American culture, not amongst everybody, but around a lot of parts of the United States. Somewhere around I don't know, around 2015, about 10 or 11 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, and just kept getting weirder and weirder, and that kind of thing. And then it really, after coronavirus, it just really, really changed. But I think things are going to go back to some semblance of normality in the next couple of years. It's already starting to change. It was worse a few years ago. I'm sorry to hear that, A.T. Samaida, about Herr Seroquel and your wife. Very sorry to hear that. Since 9/11, people are not really the same. I think people really I started noticing a change in just the way of American society. Not in all places. Like you could go to some small town in North Dakota, nothing really changed. You know what I mean? But amongst the East Coast, the Eastern Seaboard, and out on the West Coast, where the big cities are, and places like that, I've seen it just doesn't feel like the United States anymore. There's a lot of shameless behavior, a lot of people just with a I don't give a fuck attitude about things. I know where the roots of it are. I think it started before. I noticed some changes in American society when I was living in Los Angeles in around 2016 or 15, really. Before that, things were different. It was more like all my life. And then the culture just changed around 2014, 15. Really in 2016, I just started seeing the crime rate go up and people just acting up and not getting right. And I started noticing it. I don't know if it's because there's so much marijuana being used or what. It had to do with multiple things. But there's definitely there was a change in the culture. But I think that the culture is actually from. I think I got my thumb on the pulse of the culture of the United States, and I believe it's swinging to something that's where the younger people, even the younger people, like in their 20s, they're starting to change to being something that's more traditional kind of a lifestyle. I don't think it's political. I think it's something else, more of a traditional lifestyle, and maybe interested in maybe possibly going to church and seeing what that's about and things like that. Things are going, they're swinging right. They're really, really like this. And I don't even think it's political. I think that all this with the younger people not knowing, I know the women and the men fighting the younger people, like not going on dates and not understanding each other. Who knows? Maybe things will really change. Maybe we'll go back to there'll be an actual courting process. Could you imagine if the courting process that I grew up with as a young person would come back? Like guys take women out on dates and pay for everything in their car that's insured and registered and works, and they court a lady that they fancy. Could you imagine if those days came back? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Remember that? Does anybody remember that? Does anybody remember? Is there anybody here from the Northeast, New York or New Jersey or Philadelphia, that remembers that when you were a young guy, if you wanted to take out a chick, you would take out some girl on a date and she just happened to be Italian or Sicilian, that you had to ask her dad and her mom permission to take her out on a date, that things used to be like that? Does anybody remember that? I do. I remember that. They were kind of traditional. In Philadelphia, they were. I disagree with you. I think some aspects of the past were good. Some things in the past were not good. Oh, you're from New York? What borough? At Kissing the Dream. Are you from the city? Or the boroughs? Are you from are you from like Westchester County somewhere? Money earning Mount Vernon? At Kissing the Dream. Sacramento. I've been up to Sacramento. I like your historical area. Yes, I'm from Philadelphia. I remember Philadelphia. I know the pagans are there. I know they had syndicates there. I remember the whole thing. I remember when they had the spaghetti wars and they were jumping out of pickup trucks and shooting each other down there in South Philadelphia. I know, yeah, fuck, I know all about that. But that's just in the movies, right? They don't really exist, those guys, right? No, I know more than I want to know. Your name is Charlotte McGill, and I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina area. Welcome in. Yeah, at Beef Cave 20. I remember that. I remember their mayor dropped an incendiary bomb on those move people and it burned down the whole block. Remember that? So stupid. Indiana here. I'm in Indiana. I know where what is that, Rock Creek Park, that big park? I've been a lot of places. I've been around that big park in the middle of Indianapolis. That's a really nice park. Rode my bicycle around there. At Katie Blueberg, 81. About an hour from Baltimore. We're like in Bel Air somewhere, or are you either going the other direction? Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is a piece of heaven on earth. I've been through there. Grand Rapids is actually a nice place, and I've been through there. I've been through Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids. I've been through there. I never stopped there. I just kind of eyeballed it and looked at it. It looks like it's a nice area, a lot nicer than whatchamacallit, Detroit. Moononatchee County, is that a county in New Jersey? I lived in New Jersey. I should know that county. Long Beach, okay, Long Beach. You mean Long Beach, the city that's on the beach on Long Island? That's a nice place. At Coco Love, you're down to Jersey Shore. Oh yeah, I remember. Dude, I partied my ass off when I was with my friends down there in Wildwood. We tore those motel rooms up. I've traveled a lot of places. I haven't actually lived in a lot of places. The places I've lived are Philadelphia, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Somerville, New Jersey. Where else have I lived? I've lived in Los Angeles, California, Bellevue, Washington, Lubbock, Texas. That's it. That's the only places I've actually lived, but I've traveled a lot. I've been on family vacations. I've got family that I've been on family reunions in different places. A lot of family reunions I've been on are in the middle part of the country. They're either in Aurora, Colorado, or they're in Oklahoma, or they're in Arkansas, Dodge City, Kansas, places like that. I know where Fort Wayne is. That's a nice little town. I like that. Okay, somebody had to say that at Surge 5010. You're funny, dude. Dude, that's funny. No, I'm not Jewish. Well, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not Jewish. I grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I went to a high school that's probably 60%, at least 50 to 60% Jewish students. I've lived in a lot of areas that have. I've lived in the San Fernando Valley. It has a high Jewish population. A lot of my friends are Jewish. Jewish girls tend to like me. I don't know what it is. I've dated many of them. I've also dated a lot of, it's either Jewish or like Italian or Sicilian. I don't know what it is. I flip back between different types of chick. I don't know. Yeah, like at Kissing the Dream, she's lived in a lot of places too. There's some people like her and I have lived in different places. At his word is truth. Randall, you have a very kind, beautiful heart, a nice man for sure. The light of Christ shines on you, being honest with you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Jesus loves you too. Bellevue got big. Bellevue, Washington got big. I lived off of Northeast 8th Street. It's a lot bigger than the late 90s when I was there for everything is than when I lived there. Bellevue was a smaller town. It's a bigger city now. Everything is worse and worse now, I know. Probably because you look a little bit Judaic. I've never been told that. My ethnicity is like half German and half English. Thank you at Shrimp Tech Stocks. Thank you very much. No, I don't know where they are. I lived in an apartment complex near Bell Red Road in Bellevue next to a Safeway grocery store. If you know where that is. Bell Red Road goes out to Redmond. I lived in between Northeast A Street and Bell Red Road. Randall, do you know old Hollywood history? Somewhat. Did he really? Did Kurt Cobain pass away in Bellevue, Washington? I wasn't aware of that. We got a lot of people in here. Anyway, it is time for me to split. I had fun here. Thank you for subscribing to at Hollywoodland22. Thank you very much. And I will be back here tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow, talking about everything. Shalom. We'll be talking about a lot of things tomorrow. Just remember that sometimes human beings will fail you, but Jesus Christ will never fail you. Lock your doors. Stay safe. I'll see you guys. See you tomorrow at 6 p.m. And please, thank you for subscribing to at Hollywoodland21.